After days of holding off, the BBC capitulated to a Tory cancel campaign orchestrated by ministers and members opposite with their friends in the press and took Mr Lineker off air. The same voices, by the way, who claim to be the champions of free speech. Yeah, exactly. What changed? What does she think it looks like to the outside world that a much-loved sports presenter is taken off air for tweeting something the government doesn't like? It sounds more like Putin's Russia to me. Secondly, the government has seriously damaged the BBC's reputation by appointing a chair embroiled in the personal finances of the Prime Minister who gave him the job. Her boss is the only person with any power to fire the BBC chair. Does she agree that he is now completely unable to carry out his role of providing confidence, credibility and independence? And what is she doing to put this right? Finally, her government has pursued a deliberate strategy of undermining the BBC to keep it over a barrel to get themselves more favourable coverage. It was on full display overnight, and I'm sure it will be on full display here today. Threaten the licence fee, cut its funding, undermine its credibility, all in pursuit of keeping their foot on the BBC's throat.
She shouts about a political campaign to undermine the BBC akin to Putin's Russia, professes that she is the shield trying to protect the BBC from political interference, all the while demanding that the PM gets more stuck in and telling the BBC that they're in the wrong. Forgive the bewildered licence fee payer if they're wondering why W1A and SW1A are still focusing on this individual case, one which the government has consistently made clear is for the BBC to resolve internally, and we note that they have now done so. But on the issue of Mr Sharp, she'll be aware that previous governments have appointed people to senior positions in the BBC who have declared political activity. That is not prohibited under the rules. Once appointed, however, all board members are required to adhere to the Code of Conduct for public body board members. The BBC's currency in a world of misinformation and shout the loudest public discourse is truth, impartiality, accuracy and editorial integrity. It remains our priority as a government to work with regulator Ofcom to deliver an effective and proportionate framework that holds the BBC to account on its duties, including to impartiality.
Mr Speaker, mindful that the Minister doesn't want to comment on self-indulgent, out-of-touch, insensitive, avaricious, smug and arrogant football pundits, in mind too of the important role that the BBC has as a national institution made special by both its charter and the mode of its funding. Will she affirm that impartiality is critical to its continuing role? It's respected throughout the world for that. The World Service springs to mind. And when it's compromised by anyone who has a privileged position, that impartiality, that flaw undermines the BBC, which we want to support.
Minister. I thank my honourable friend, and he's absolutely right. It is the mode of the BBC's funding that makes it different in how it must respond to cases like this. Trust and impartiality is fundamental to the social compact that underpins the licence fee. And if that is seen to be broken by those who are within the organisation, then it is for the organisation to take that into account and to take action accordingly.
Deputy Speaker, I hope that the Shadow Secretary of State will reflect on her comparison of this government to the Putin regime, which of course is engaged in war crimes and the murder of men, women and children in Ukraine. That was beneath her. I'm perfectly content with the BBC's funding model and with the output on the BBC. But there is one element of Mr Lineker's statement on Twitter which is completely unacceptable. And as somebody who grew up surrounded by people who had their lives turned on their head by the Nazi regime in Germany, I hope that the Minister will comment on his references to 1930s Germany. He can say what he likes about the immigration bill, but he should have the decency to apologise for comparing any action of a democratically elected government in this country with 1930s Germany. It was disgusting.
Minister.
I thank my honourable friend for setting out how he feels about the comments that were made, and I very much appreciate the deep sensitivities of this matter, and I also think it was distasteful to compare the government's actions or otherwise to the Putin regime. I think it is a disgraceful comparison to make, and I think it is way off the mark.